What's happening? What's happening? How we doing, guys? We are here today, Coach G's Radical Man Show, and I will get this camera fixed some kind of way. I think that's a little bit better. Good, guys. Episode 15 today, and we got a great one for you. That low down, dirty shame. We're going to talk about it today, guys. As you know, let's get these shares out. Y'all like that. Again, none other than Scott Lennox Global Hires kills my beats for me. Shares are going. Yo, seriously, some of you guys have actually asked me about this beat, which I ain't mad at y'all for doing that. Listen, this dude, Scott Lennox Global Hires, find him, Google him, he's on Facebook, guys. This man has the beats of beats, especially if you're doing something that's live, if you guys are a coach and you're trying to have that nice, bam, he got it for you. You guys got to reach out to him. You got to reach out to him. Almost done with the shares, bros. Almost done with the shares. What's up, Scotty? I'm actually going to share this one with the ladies today. I think this is going to be worthwhile, guys. This is going to be going in today. We're going in. A few more shares. And we're done. I'm not going to mention any names, but I am thanking a very special viewer to help me out with today's topic. No names, no names, no names. Last one. Let's get this last share out. All right. Again, before I close out my beat, Scott Lennox Global Hires. This is my guy, my friend, my brother. But most importantly, guys, he's just a beat extraordinaire, guys. And also, some of you guys always asking about my shirt, Wage War. Well, let me help you guys out. I had to earn this bad boy. You want to earn a shirt like this, you need to get in contact with Victor Bell, Champion Army Leader, General of the Champion Army. Contact that man. I got no problem letting you guys know who I'm getting great work from. If they did it with me, they'll do it with you. They got me to where I am right now. Alright. Alright, guys. Let's get this show on the ball today. How are we doing? How are we doing? This is Coach G, host of the Radical Man Show. Helping men every day understand that it's not just about our compulsive habits, but that we also got to address the man side of us to truly understand what manhood, what power, and most importantly, what being radical in your life is all about. Again, what is radical? Extremely different than what's traditionally known about you or an event. Change you, change your events. Let's jump into it, guys. The topic of today, that low down, dirty shame. How many of us have dealt with it, right? I mean, maybe not on the grand scale, maybe some of us on a larger scale. Maybe it's like that slight embarrassment to when that thing that you're trying to like cover up and throw as much dirt on top of so nobody ever knows about it. But here's the deal. When we look at shame, and we look at, more importantly, what happens with shame, and we want to be very real about this, guys, nothing ever stays hidden. Like, if there's one thing I want to just express to men, right? Like, I don't care how good your game is. I don't care how tight your story is. I don't care how much you try to wrap up all the loose ends in your past. Nothing ever stays hidden. Something of your past will always come out. And more importantly, if it does come out, it's more than likely going to be something that has to deal with shame. Like something that we have a level of shame about from our own past, our own experiences, that we say, you know what? I'm okay with you knowing A through like Y of my life. But Z, I'm going to take and I'm going to do like the whole bad boy scene, right? We're going to take this and we're going to put it in a box and we're going to launch this somewhere that not even Jacques Cousteau can find, right? That's what we get to do when we're talking about shame. So here's what I realized about shame. Shame has never advanced any particular cause that anybody's ever had. If anything, shame has done the opposite. Shame is what comes around that really will disrupt your progress being able to move forward. Why? Because somebody exposed a level of shame about you. Why? Because you did something you felt shameful about, didn't know how to handle it, right? And there's a lot of pieces that go into this. And what I want to do with you guys today is that I want to talk about shame. I want to talk about where shame comes from. And what I really want to get down to, which is going to be the easy part of this. Easy. How do we fix it? I mean, seriously, how do we get to the point of living a shame-free life? It's like, how do you get to the point of living a guilt-free life? I mean, what's crazy is that we're all around right now, like everybody is on the planet right now, like trying to figure out how to live a debt-free life. How to live a life where you don't got to worry about what your insurance is going to look like. Right? How to live a life where you are free to be whoever you want to be. Right? I mean, the United States right now, we've kicked it up a whole nother notch. Right? And this isn't a judgment for or against. But listen, there was a time that, look, blacks wasn't accepted in this country. Women couldn't vote in this country. And now we're doing everything from like, trying to include, and again, this is going to be a political conversation, I'll say that for another time, but there's women, there's minorities involved in the process, and now we're seeing these battles engage amongst who we're going to continue to accept into the American fold. I mean, how do we deal with homosexuals and with transgenders and with people who have different beliefs, but you come into the United States? How are we providing all these inclusions? And what I've come to realize about all of that is that the more we allow these things to happen, the less areas of shame that we as a country get to deal with. I mean, it opens us up to so much more. But now it's already on the table, and once it's on the table, we get a chance to discuss it. It's not anything that's hidden. It's not the taboo thing anymore. I mean, let's just be honest. Porn, drugs, alcohol, you name it, any vice of today used to be the taboo thing. Like, for those of you guys who wake up with, the MGD, or you get a sip of this, or whatever the case might be, well, listen, congrats to your brothers, because there was a time called Prohibition. That wasn't allowed. It couldn't have happened. So now we're at a place where we're saying that, you know what, all this exposure is happening all around me right now, but I still have this type of shame that I'm dealing with on the inside right now. So how is it that I'm able to deal with shame? And what I want to do is I want to set you guys up with a couple pointers here. The first thing we got to understand about shame, we got to get some details about shame and figure out exactly what this is, right? So here's what I want us to understand. Before we get to how do I fix it, let's just break down what the heck it really is. We'll start big and then we'll get small on this bad boy, right? Here's what I want you guys to understand about shame. The origin of it is really going to come from, hear me now, false standards and beliefs. That's where shame's going to come from. You're dealing with some false standards and beliefs. And what happens with that is that Unfortunately, there's probably some aspect in your life in which these standards that you're trying to abide by, these beliefs you're trying, well, you didn't adhere to them. Like, I'm not even talking about your moral compass right now, if you will. What I'm talking about is these standards, you guys, that us men have acquired over our life. And let's just be real about it. Women have acquired them as well. Men and women. That's why I'm sharing with the ladies today. Like, men and women have acquired a series of false standards and beliefs about who we are supposed to be. And any point in our life that has conflicted with this, that we've placed on a pedestal about our life, well, then that's a shame now. That's where we get that shame from, right? How else do we get shame? I want you guys to also look at this. Shame speaks to what we hide, yet want others to know we overcame. Think about that. Bad spelling there for a minute. Think about that for a minute. It speaks to what we hide, yet we want others to know what we overcame. Like, seriously. Like, I don't know anybody that doesn't like jumping out and showing like their brand new life. Like, look at me. I mean, we see it on social media almost all the time, right? Someone has reinvented themselves almost on a daily basis with social media. And what do they show us in that social media clip? We get to see like the greatness of them at that moment, right? We get to see what they've overcame in that video. And that's like the pride part of them coming out. Like, man, woo! Look at what I did. Look at what I learned. Let me show you. But it also speaks to what we're trying to hide. Like, very rarely are people on social media discussing their growth past where they failed. Like, they don't even really try to get deep these days when it comes to social media all the time. What they're really doing right now is giving you the surface stuff. They ain't going deep with you. They'll give you the surface issues that they're not afraid to hide. Like, yeah, you know what? I had to have a car and I had to put 10s on my rims instead of dubs on my tires. But that's okay because I survived the struggle with it kind of deal. Right? Like, all these things become acceptable to us over a period of time. And we got to understand that this isn't exactly how we want this to operate. And I got to make this pretty quick for you guys today. I may not be able to stay the whole time with you guys today. Shame speaks to what we hide, yet want others to know we overcame. Here's the third thing I want you guys to get about shame. Broken pride. Period. Guys, listen, as you all know, I'm always get personal on these things because, look, I can't generalize the whole world, and I don't like generalizing men, so I'm just going to give it to you how I got it, and my only hope is that your life ain't never been as bad as mine, but if you have reached it, you know how we're going to get to the other side. From those false standards and beliefs, guys, that's all I grew up on. False standards and beliefs, like with no education to back it up. Like, what I mean about false standards and beliefs? Well, my dad was an alcoholic. Yep, second generation, right? He cheated, he was a womanizer. Like, I love this man to death, but he's who he is. So as I'm looking at him growing up, I didn't have the standard that says, like, I want to be like him. I actually had the reverse of that. I wanted to be better than Dad. I mean, a lot of us, we look up to Dad but want to be better than Dad. How many of us are really given the steps and blueprints as to how to actually do that? Look, if you don't got the information on how to be what you're putting out that you want to be, it's false. Like, all you're really going to be a product of is, again, those 3 E's. Your ego, your experiences, and your emotions. That's what's going to sit up here and move you. So my emotions led me to be like, I want to be better than my dad. My ego made me say, you know what? I can be better than my dad. And my experiences ain't damn near show anything that was different than my dad. It was all about these false standards and beliefs that I had. Right? I mean, look, guys, I was a guy that wanted people to, when I first started just being able to discuss and wanting to be a coach, wanting to work with people, I'll be damned if I ever jumped out there and said, hey, who wants to work with a recovering porn addict and prescription drug addict and someone who's done, like, that wasn't part of the spiel. It was like, hey guys, get on board, Coach G, be radical, yah, rah, 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 rah. But that wasn't real though. You see, I wanted to hide that one part of me. But I want others to start celebrating what I overcame. I want others to be attracted to me because I overcame something, yet I'm not willing to sit up here and tell you what the hell I overcame. How does that work? And most importantly, guys, my shame became a part of broken pride. Everything that I was prideful about. Like, I want you to see the connection in those areas, guys. Like, if you really never had any pride in one area, I doubt you experienced shame in it. But if you had pride in your family and you lost your family, it's some shame that's going to be around there with it. If you have pride in how you conducted your day-to-day affairs, and then something got exposed and you just say, this ain't really what he do. Like, it's a lot of guys out here, right? They got pride in how their cars look, how their clothes look, how all these things are looking right now. Like, but really, when they go home, that ain't the case. They stuck in the basement of mom's house. They ain't sent no money to their kids. All this broken pride comes around. Here's the last thing I want you to understand about shame, and I started off with it, guys. Guys, look, shame never comes alone. Shame operates in pairs. Like, shame is not like I'm ashamed because of, but no. It's the shame of something and something. It's the shame of being black and a porn addict. The shame of being married and separated. The shame of being a dad, a father, and not having custody of your kids or being around your kids all the time. Guys, that's what the shame is about. And it's high time we got real honest about that right now. Now here's the great part about this deal. If you guys remember, and if you don't remember, go back, check out a couple videos. I'll talk to you guys about the thoughts. I talk to you guys about how do we start changing our behaviors. Step one, we got to attack these thoughts and just simply be aware of what's out there. So if our thoughts are sitting here consumed with, you know what, I got the shame of being a dad and not being around my kids, well then, first thought wrong, second thought, you got to go ahead and start moving and operating with. Like, this process can really become a life changer for a lot of you guys out there. I see far too many men out here in social media that I interact with, men who have called my phone, but hey, you ain't finished any work with it. But still, there's a level of shame. And unfortunately, if you have talked to me, and if you are going to watch anything that I put out, you got to deal with that. Like, I'm sorry, I guess this is going to be a part of you being able to interact in the sphere of being radical with Coach G. Is that you got to address the shame, because I'm going to put it right there in front of you every single day. Why? Because you have that shame based on false standards, and I need you to understand that. Guys, I grew up, I just got done telling you guys, second generation addict. So I got the shame of being a dad and an addict. But I was never really shown how to be a dad and not be an addict. So I got false standards and beliefs. I don't have too many people in my circle that just jump out the window and say, hey, look, this is all of the faults that I have incurred in my life, but yet, here I am. You see, most people I know, we hide it. Can I be real about this? Black community, we hide. I'm sorry, look, we hide. I mean, especially around things that are like considered still taboo. If it's about therapy, we hide. You're dealing with a sex or porn issue, we hide. Start talking about drugs, right? Like, we hide. And then where do we turn to? We turn to the church or we turn to the barbershop? And I'm sorry, neither one of them got the skills that it's going to take for you to stop dealing with your shame and for you to be radical. Period. But these are decisions and choices we got to make, guys. And this shit is not going to be easy. Not at all. And I want you guys to know that. You got to know it. You got to understand this. So now, if this is the hard shit about shame, right? If shame brings us to all these areas right here, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there right now who has someone who thinks I should be shamed because of my language. Nope, that's back on you, brother. Listen, the shame of blank and blank. Here's what I want you to do. I want you all to just finish out that statement for me. That's what I want you all to do. That's the homework right there. The shame of what and what. I know it. Don't say the shame of your past and leave it at that. The shame of thinking your life was great and now having to deal with your past. That's the shame. I was watching a TV show the other day, one of my good shows. I try to get caught up in TV, but I like a show. It's called Blind Spot. They got a particular character on there, black guy's on there. He played high school football, this great athlete. He's an FBI agent. This case comes around where it's believed that his college or high school coach molested kids. And now he's had his whole memory blocked out of his head. And he finally gets to the chance of seeing this video and seeing what he went through. And in comes the shame. The shame of thinking what? He is untouched and realizing he's a victim. So where does he do? It's drugs. It's alcohol. It's abusive behaviors. Right? All because he's stuck trying to hide because now his pride's broken. Now he's trying to hide something, but he's doing all this extra shit so that people think he's overcame it. That's where the drugs and the alcohol, all the binging comes from, guys. The false standards and beliefs, he don't want to buy, he's trying to hold on to that. He's got to keep making it real. And a lot of us are in that same spot. You have to somehow keep making those false standards and beliefs seem real to you. Because if it's not, then here's what you're actually going to be left with, guys. And unfortunately, you're looking at this as a negative, but this is the greatest opportunity you will have ever dealing with shame. Coleman, I see you out there, brother. Coleman is a great photographer, Miami guy. He's also, I think, a trainer as well. Check that brother out. Coleman, love you, bro. Thanks for being a part of the feed today, man. But look, let's get into it. And I want to wrap this up because, one, I think my feed might cut off pretty soon. And also, we'll see what else is on. Now, opportunity, here's the gift of shame. Opportunity to, I love this word, create standards that are shame-proof. Guys, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Listen, listen, listen. Y'all don't know what y'all just got right here. Thank you for joining, Bruno. Glad you're here, brother. But look, guys, do you not see what this is? I got to rock and roll soon, but I need you guys to understand this. Guys, you're dealing with an opportunity to create standards that are now shame-proof. So what did Coach G go out and do? Coach G says, well, you know what? Screw it. The world knows. I know. Confess porn addict. Confess prescription drug abuser. Confess person who's separated from his family. So you know what? Let me just go ahead and set it up so I give it to you front and center. Does that got to be everybody out there? Absolutely not. But what I decided to do was create standards that are now going to be shame-proof for me. And guys, you get a chance to do the exact same thing. There isn't a single part of my past that I still harbor shame about. It doesn't matter what you came to me with. Yep, I'm the guy that flunked 8th grade. And I'm the guy that was in remedial courses in 9th grade. And I'm the guy that, what was it? Dealt with childhood molestation, right? That's me. Woo! Guys, listen. You set your standards. You get to be shame-proof. Yes, I dealt with porn addictions. Yes, I've got my license suspended in several different states. Yup, my wife left me back in 2012. Guess what? If I was still shameful about that, we would not have the relationship we have right now. Like, I wouldn't be this close with my kids if I was still shameful about this stuff. I would not have a new connection, a new relationship, which is beautiful with my wife right now. Is it perfect? Hell no. Is it anything that I got shame about, though? Hell no. And God, that's what I want you to be. I don't care about your life looking perfect. I don't care about you guys trying to make it seem like social media has a perfect outlook so that this 15 seconds that you put on Twitter or however long you posted a video on Facebook now makes you seem like you got the whole world wrapped up. That's not what I'm talking about. Forget about being perfect. I just need you guys to be shame-proof, because once you're shame-proof, you attack everything. Relentlessly and radically. Again, extremely different than what's traditionally known about you. So what I want you guys to do, tell me what you're ashamed of. Like, I want to know what the shame is. I guarantee you, write out your shame, holler at me, let's get in contact. By the end of the phone call, we'll have a shame-proof plan made just for you. Look, guys, I love you. It's short and sweet today. This is Coach G, the Radical Man Show. Stay tuned every day, Monday through Friday, 11:15. On Oz 11:45, sometimes a little bit shorter, a little bit longer, but I'm guaranteeing you guys right now, you want to get to the spot at 11:15. I love you guys. Fight to be shame-proof. Kick ass. Peace.